June 6, 1944, Normandy, France. The dawn sky is painted gray and bruised, the air heavy with the stench of cordite and salt. Along a narrow hedgerow road near Bayeux, Sergeant Alan McGregor of the 13th 18th Royal Hussars tightens his grip on the periscope handles of his tank, the newly minted Sherman Firefly. The engine growls beneath him, a deep, mechanical heartbeat that vibrates through the hull. Around him, the crew, Loader Corporal Davis, Gunner Jock Fraser, and Driver Private Ellis, exchanged terse glances. They've all heard the stories. Tigers and Panthers shredding Shermans like tin cans. The old joke in the 8th Army went, "A Sherman burns if you look at it funny." But McGregor's Firefly isn't just another Sherman. Strapped to its side, in a long, elegant tube of steel, is the weapon the Germans fear but don't yet know, the 17-pounder gun. The barrel stretches so far forward it makes steering in tight lanes nearly impossible, yet every inch of it promises vengeance. The radio crackles. "Panther sighted near Villers-Bocage. Hold your position until the 7th Armored advances." McGregor lowers the periscope. "Davis, ready sabot. Jock, traverse left. Let's show Jerry what this new beast can do." The Firefly inches forward, treads grinding over the damp Normandy soil. Above, distant thunder is not weather, it's artillery. Every explosion trembles in their ribs. The hedgerows close in like green walls, masking movement, theirs and the enemy's. Then, through the morning mist, a dark silhouette appears at the crossroad ahead, Panther. Its angular armor glistens with dew, the gun turning lazily toward the road. Davis curses under his breath. "Bloody hell, that's a Mark V." "Steady," McGregor mutters. "Range, 800 yards. Loaded." Fraser exhales and squeezes the trigger. The 17-pounder roars like thunder, the recoil kicking the entire turret backward. A streak of light cuts through the fog. Impact. The Panther's turret jerks, then bursts into orange flame. A second later, its hatch flies open as black smoke billows skyward. McGregor's voice is calm, almost reverent. Target neutralized. For the first time in the war, Allied crews can fight back and win. But word of this encounter will travel fast, and for German tankers across Normandy, the laughter is about to stop. June 10, 1944, near Caen, Normandy. Inside a thick copse of trees overlooking a narrow French road, Panzerkommandant Karl Hoffmann peers through his binoculars. His tiger eye sits like a crouched beast, its 88mm gun steady, its armor glinting under dappled sunlight. Around him, his crew lounges with a confidence earned from years of crushing inferior Kanks. "Amerikanische Shermans," Hoffmann mutters, grinning, "like tin toys, easy kills." His gunner, Feldweb Meinhardt, chuckles. "They come in packs, like sheep, one shot each, bang, bang, bang." For months, even years, this has been their truth. In Africa, Italy, and now France, the German Tigers and Panthers ruled the battlefield. Their thick frontal armor shrugged off Allied shells, and their long 88mm and 75mm guns could punch through a Sherman at over a kilometer. The battlefield had become a shooting gallery. But as Hoffmann scans the distant hedgerow, something feels off. Through the haze, he spots movement. Another Sherman crawling into view. Its profile is familiar, yet not quite right. The barrel looks longer, unnaturally so, jutting far past the hull like a lance. Hoffmann squints, confused. "Meinhardt, what is that?" The gunner shrugs. "A trick of the light, maybe. Another burning coffin." They wait, patient hunters. The Sherman halts at the edge of the road. Its turret swivels slowly, precise, too precise. Then a flash. The German commander barely registers the streak before the impact slams into his chest like a hammer blow. The Tiger's front plate cracks, molten steel bursting inward. The explosion deafens everything. Flames roar through the compartment as Meinhardt screams. Outside, Allied soldiers watch in disbelief as the mighty Tiger, the invincible beast of Normandy, burns from a single shot. Within minutes, the German net is filled with frantic chatter. An American Sherman with a long gun penetrated a Tiger frontally. Impossible! What is this weapon? Beware of Shermans with the long barrel! The laughter stops, and in its place, fear. The Firefly has arrived, and the balance of power begins to shift. But for the British crews, the Firefly is both a blessing and a curse, because now they are the prime targets. June 13, 1944, near Villers-Bocage. The hedgerows of Normandy are a sniper's paradise and a tanker's nightmare. The terrain is a labyrinth of narrow lanes, thick earthen walls, and unseen corners. Inside his Firefly, Sergeant Alan McGregor wipes sweat from his brow. The smell of hot oil and cordite fills the air. "Davies, keep that ammo dry. We'll need every round," he says. "Already done, Sarge," the loader replies, wiping his hands on a rag. Over the radio, a British officer's voice crackles. "Enemy armor reported in the bocage ahead. Tigers and Panthers. All Fireflies to the front of formation. Repeat, Fireflies lead." McGregor sighs. "Of course we do. The Bloody Magnet Brigade." Because of its deadly 17-pounder, the Firefly quickly became both prized and cursed among Allied tankers. While the regular Shermans relied on speed and numbers, the Firefly was the spear point, the tank that had to face the Tigers head-on. German crews quickly learned to spot the Firefly's distinctive long barrel. Many Firefly commanders tried to disguise it, painting the forward half white to blend with the sky, or parking behind trees to mask its length. But once that long gun swung into view, every German in range wanted it gone first. As the column advances, the first explosion rocks the earth. A Sherman ahead bursts into flame, its hatch blown open like a tin lid. The Firefly halts instantly. "Enemy gunner, 2 o'clock," McGregor barks. Through the periscope, he sees it, a Panther crouched behind a hedgerow, its 75mm gun already turning towards them. "Fraser, range 600, armor piercing, fire!" The Firefly's 17-pounder thunders, echoing down the narrow lane. The round slams into the Panther's mantlet, sparks, smoke, but no kill. "Hit, no penetration," Fraser yells. "Reload, fast!" Before the next shot, the Panther fires. The German shell screams past, gouging a crater a few yards short. The concussion rocks the Firefly like a bell. "Second round, now!" Davies rams in another shell, sweat streaming down his face. "Loaded!" Fraser steadies, breath held. Boom! This time the shot punches through the Panther's front plate, igniting ammunition inside. The explosion lifts its turret off the hull. The British crew erupts in cheers. "Good hit," McGregor shouts. Then, silence. Another shell shrieks overhead, smashing into the trees. McGregor's grin fades. "There's another one." Through the smoke, a second Panther looms into view, its barrel glinting. McGregor whispers, "Now it's our turn to run." The Firefly reverses hard, treads churning mud, smoke cloaking its retreat. For every German tank they destroy, 2 more seem to appear. The hedgerows of Normandy are alive and deadly. In the days to come, the Fireflies will claim dozens of Tigers and Panthers, but each victory will cost lives, metal, and nerve. The British tankers know the truth. This war isn't about heroes. It's about who fires first
and who's still standing when the smoke clears.
June 14th, 1944. Outskirts of Villers-Bocage, 900 hours. A thin mist still clings to the fields as the British advanced cautiously through the wreckage of yesterday's fight. Charred hulks of Shermans and Panthers lie scattered among the hedgerows, their twisted armor glinting in the weak morning sun. The air reeks of diesel and scorched paint. Inside his Firefly, Sergeant Alan McGregor feels the fatigue deep in his bones. 2 days without proper rest, 2 days of fighting through an endless maze of ambushes and artillery. Yet the crew moves with grim precision. They've survived longer than most. "Any word from HQ?" McGregor asks. Davies leans toward the radio. "They say German armor's pulling back toward Caen, but Tigers are still roaming the flanks." McGregor nods. "Then we keep moving, eyes open." The Firefly crawls forward, its long barrel swaying like a spear in the mist. Every turn could hide death. Then out of the fog, a low rumble, deep and steady. Not one engine, 3. Fraser's voice tightens. "That's not ours." McGregor raises the periscope. 3 dark shapes emerge along the tree line. Tigers. Their outlines are unmistakable, massive and menacing, with thick frontal armor that had once made them gods on the battlefield. For a brief moment, both sides halt, predators sizing each other up. "Hold your fire," McGregor whispers. "Wait till they show their flanks." The Firefly nestles behind a hedgerow, the muzzle just peeking through the leaves. The Tigers continue their slow advance, their commanders unaware of the hunter watching them. "Range 400, Fraser murmurs. "They're close enough to smell the fuel." Steady. The lead Tiger swings its turret, scanning. The moment feels like an eternity. A single breath, one heartbeat suspended between life and fire. "Fire!" The 17-pounder detonates with a thunderous crack. The sabot round screams across the field and slams into the Tiger's turret ring. Sparks explode like fireworks. A heartbeat later, boom! The Tiger's top hatch erupts in flame. "Target down!" Fraser shouts. But the other 2 Tigers react instantly. One pivots toward the shot, its gun blazing. The shell smashes into the hedgerow, splintering earth and leaves. "Reverse! Hard reverse!" The Firefly jolts backward, treads grinding, smoke filling the air. Davies fumbles another shell into the breach. "Loaded! Left Tiger, 300, fire!" Another blast. The round slices through the side armor of the second Tiger. It halts mid-turn, smoke pouring from its rear plate. "2 down," McGregor's voice shakes, half adrenaline, half disbelief. "Bloody hell, we're doing it!" The last Tiger fires. Its shell ricochets off the ground, carving through a nearby Sherman. The explosion rocks the entire field. McGregor swings the turret. "Fraser, finish it!" The gunner exhales slowly, aligning the sights. "On target!" Boom! The shell punches through the Tiger's lower glacis. The explosion that follows sends its turret spinning off the hull, landing sideways in a plume of smoke. Silence. 3 Tigers destroyed by 1 Firefly. For a moment, no one speaks. Then Davies lets out a low laugh. "And they said the Sherman couldn't kill a Tiger." Outside, the smoke drifts upward, black columns marking the fall of giants. Word will spread quickly. Across Normandy, British and Canadian crews will whisper the same phrase: "The Firefly bites back." In a single morning, the myth of German invincibility burns with those wrecks. But the war isn't over. Ahead lies Caen, and the bloodiest days yet. The counterblow at Caen. June 19th, 1944, outskirts of Caen, Normandy. The rain hasn't stopped for 3 days. It falls in a steady gray curtain that turns roads into rivers and foxholes into graves. The British advance crawls forward yard by yard, each hedgerow fought over like a fortress. The Firefly crews are exhausted, half-deafened, soaked to the skin, and running low on ammunition, but they press on. Inside his Firefly, Sergeant Alan McGregor studies a crumpled map lit by the flickering red glow of the instrument panel. His eyes trace the inked ridges and fields leading toward Caen, a city the Germans have sworn to hold at any cost. "Davies, what's left?" McGregor asks. "3 Sabot, 6 HE, and not much else. Enough for another round or two of hell," McGregor mutters. The rain hisses on the armor. Beyond the narrow lane, thunder rolls. Or is it artillery? Then, over the downpour, comes a deeper growl. Tank engines. Many of them. Fraser wipes the fog from his gun sight. "Movement! 200 meters. Looks like Panthers. 3? No, 4 of them." McGregor's pulse quickens. The German counterattack has begun. The Firefly edges into position behind a ruined farmhouse, its long barrel poking through a shattered window frame. Outside, the sound of treads grows louder, a mechanical heartbeat echoing through the mud-soaked valley. "Fraser," McGregor whispers, "we wait for them to cross the field. Don't waste the first shot." Through the rain-streaked optics, the first Panther appears. Black crosses on wet steel, its commander scanning from the open hatch. Confident. Unaware. "Range, 150. Fire when ready." Boom! The shot rips through the rain like lightning. It slams into the Panther's side. A flash of white light, then a violent burst of flame. The German machine erupts, its turrets spewing smoke and shrapnel. The other Panthers halt, confused. One pivots, trying to locate the threat. "Reload! Quick!" Davies shoves in another shell, the breech slamming shut. "Loaded! Second target! To the right! By the barn!" Fraser steadies his aim, breath fogging the scope. Boom! Another explosion. The second Panther bursts into fire, ammunition cooking off inside. The rain can't smother it. It just hisses as the flames consume steel and flesh alike. The third Panther spots the flash. Its gun swings toward the farmhouse. "Reverse! Reverse now!" McGregor yells. The Firefly jerks backward just as a German shell obliterates the front wall. Bricks and debris cascade over the turret like rain. "Christ almighty!" Davies coughs, choking on dust. McGregor steadies himself. "We're not done yet. Fraser, send one back their way." The Firefly lurches forward again, the gun barking once more. This time the Sabot round hits the Panther dead center. A deafening crack echoes across the valley. When the smoke clears, the Panther's gun droops, lifeless. Only one remains, retreating, limping through the mud. McGregor doesn't chase. He knows better. "Let it go," he says quietly. "It'll tell the others." The field is silent now except for the rain. 3 German tanks destroyed in minutes by a single Firefly crew. But McGregor isn't smiling. He knows tomorrow there will be more. He leans back, staring at the gun barrel stretching out into the storm. It gleams silver beneath the rain, the long arm of vengeance that's changed the face of war. Far across the lines, in shattered towns and muddied trenches, the message spreads among German tankers. Beware the Sherman with the long barrel. By July, the myth of German armor superiority is gone. The Firefly, born from desperation, refined through ingenuity, now stalks the battlefield as the hunter, not the prey. But even as victory inches closer, McGregor feels no triumph, only the weight of ghosts left behind and the endless thunder of guns that refuse to fall silent. The Long Barrel of Vengeance. July 8, 1944, south of Caen, Operation Charnwood. The morning sky glows a dull orange as artillery thunders across the Norman plains. The ground shakes continuously, the rhythm of war rolling forward. Allied guns, hundreds of them, hammer German lines in preparation for the final assault on Caen. Inside his Firefly, Sergeant Alan McGregor sits hunched over the periscope, face smeared with oil and exhaustion. His crew barely speaks now. After weeks of non-stop fighting, words are useless. Only instinct remains. The radio buzzes with static. All Firefly units, advance and cover the infantry push. Expect enemy armor resistance near Epron. Tigers confirmed. McGregor exhales, fogging the glass. Right then, lads, time to dance with the devils again. The Firefly rumbles forward, joining a column of Shermans and Cromwells inching through the rubble-strewn roads. Buildings lie gutted, their stone walls shattered, black smoke twisting into the overcast sky. Dead cattle, burned-out vehicles, and the wreckage of once peaceful farms litter the route to Caen. The 17-pounder gun, gleaming like a spear, points toward the horizon. Soldiers walking alongside glance at it with mixed awe and fear. To them, it's a symbol, the only weapon that can kill a tiger before it kills them. They cross a shallow ridge. Ahead, the sound of treads and gears echoes, low, heavy, methodical. McGregor freezes. Hold it. Through the periscope, a dark silhouette looms between shattered trees. Then another, and another. Tigers, 3 of them, moving in formation, their massive guns traversing slowly like predators scenting prey. Fraser, the gunner, whispers, "They're hunting." McGregor nods. Then let's give them a reason to run. The Firefly crawls behind the wreck of a farmhouse, engine idling low. Mud splashes against its hull. Inside, the crew barely breathes. Range 500, target lead Tiger. McGregor says quietly. Loaded, Davies murmurs. The 17-pounder's shell slides into the breach with a metallic clunk that sounds louder than thunder. Fraser steadies the crosshairs. A bead of sweat rolls down his cheek. Boom! The recoil slams through the turret. Through the optics they see the round strike true, right below the Tiger's gun mantlet. The explosion is blinding. The Tiger halts, flames bursting from its hatches as crewmen scramble out, engulfed in smoke. The second Tiger fires back. Its 88mm shell tears through the hedgerow, missing the Firefly by inches. The shockwave rattles every bolt in the tank. McGregor yells, "Traverse right! Hit him before he reloads!" Fraser swings the turret. Another boom! The second Tiger's side armor shatters. A fireball erupts, hurling its turret skyward. The third Tiger reverses, retreating into the trees. McGregor doesn't follow. He knows they've done enough. Davies slumps back, hands trembling. That's 3 Tigers this week. McGregor stares through the smoke. Aye, and how many of ours are left to tell it? Outside, infantry cheers echo faintly, but McGregor feels none of it. Every kill brings survival, not satisfaction. The Firefly isn't a hero's chariot. It's a grim necessity forged from desperation and loss. Later that night, as Caen burns on the horizon, McGregor climbs from the hatch. The sky glows red, flickering with tracer fire. He rests a hand on the long barrel of the 17-pounder, still warm from battle. This, he mutters to no one, is what it took to even the odds. Around him, dozens of Fireflies stand silent among wrecked Shermans, a forest of long guns in the dark, gleaming faintly under the embers of war. By dawn, the British flag will rise over Caen. The Fireflies, once mocked, will be written into history as the tanks that finally turned the tide. And somewhere in the ruins, a German tanker will whisper the same bitter truth heard across the front lines of Normandy. The day the Firefly appeared, the Tigers began to die.